All right, let's jump right in. Today we're tackling a really powerful and honestly pretty provocative idea. The title kind of says it all, right? Kill the version of you that asks for permission. I mean, wow. So what does that even mean? Let's get into it. Okay, and this quote right here, this is the key to the whole thing. You don't need more advice. You need a funeral for your old self. Just let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about little improvements or some new life hack. Nope. We are talking about a funeral, an ending to make way for a totally new beginning. So if we're going to hold a funeral, we've got to know who's in the casket, right? We have to figure out what part of us is being buried. And according to this idea, that part has a name, the servant. And this isn't just, a bad habit you need to break. The thinking here is that this is a whole separate identity living inside you. You know that voice, right? The one that whispers, is this okay? What will people think? The one that's always looking for a thumbs up from someone else before it makes a move. Its entire job, its whole purpose, is to keep you playing small. And get this, the language used to describe this servant identity is super intense. It's not just a weakness or a flaw, it's called a parasite. I mean, think about that, a parasite. Something that's not really you, but it's attached to you, feeding off your energy, draining your power, just to hold you back. So this really breaks it down nicely. You've got these two competing forces inside you. On the one hand, you have the servant mindset. It's always looking for approval, it's terrified of what other people think, and it's constantly asking, may I? But then, on the other side, you have the ruler mindset. It doesn't ask for approval, it gives approval to itself. It doesn't fear judgment, it judges actions based on its own principles. And it doesn't ask for permission, it gives orders. It's like they're two completely different operating systems for your brain. Okay, so your first thought might be, I've got this servant thing inside me, I need to fix it. Let me go find some self-help advice, right? Well, according to this framework, that is the single worst thing you could do. And that brings up a really good question. I mean, if the servant is the problem, why doesn't all the self-help advice out there actually fix it? We watch videos, we read books on being more confident, but why doesn't it stick? Why does that little voice that asks for permission always seem to creep back in? Well, here's the kicker. The argument is that most advice actually feeds the parasite. It's the servant's favorite meal. Think about it. When you go looking for advice, what are you doing? You're looking for external validation. You're asking someone else to tell you what to do. That just reinforces the servant's power. It's like you're trying to negotiate with the very thing you need to get rid of, instead of just killing it. So, if you can't talk it away, if you can't improve it away, what's left? You have to kill it. You hold a funeral. So if you can't talk it away, if you can't improve it away, what's left? You have to kill it. You hold a funeral. And that brings us to the core of this whole thing, the funeral protocol. And this isn't just a cute metaphor. The funeral protocol is meant to be a literal, psychological funeral. It's described as a process that's engineered for one thing and one thing only: absolute, total transformation. It's about a conscious, deliberate, and final act of destroying that old identity. Yeah, it's even called a dark protocol, and that name is chosen on purpose. This isn't about gentle affirmations or loving yourself more. This is about something more ruthless. It's a mechanical process of destruction and rebirth. It's a bit hardcore, for sure. All right, so how does this actually work? What does a burial of this self even look like in practice? I mean, how do you hold a funeral for a thought pattern? Okay, so it breaks down into 4 steps. First, you have to identify it. You got to catch that servant's voice in the act. When you hear that, what will they think? You know that's it. Step 2, you reject it. And you don't argue with it, you don't reason with it, you just flat out deny its request. No. Third, you declare it dead. You literally make a conscious declaration to yourself. That part of me is dead. And finally, the most important part, you enact the new identity. You just start acting from the place of the ruler. And this is such a crucial point. This is not self-improvement. It's self-replacement. You're not trying to fix up the old buggy software. You're completely wiping the hard drive and installing a brand new operating system. So what happens after the funeral? What happens when the servant is finally gone? Well, the entire power dynamic inside your head completely flips. The throne is no longer empty. It's done. The protocol is complete. That voice that was always asking for permission, it's silent. It has no more say. It's finished. And in that vacuum, something new takes charge. The part of you that operates from its own authority, the part that gives itself permission, that's the part that's in control now. The ruler. The king is on the throne. And that leaves just one really important question. The old way of being is gone. You're in charge now. So the question is no longer, can I? The question is, what will I command? What are your orders? And that's really the heart of it all. It's this wild, confronting idea that real change isn't about slowly getting better. It's about a decisive act of destruction to make way for a rebirth. So it leaves you with a very different kind of question. Not what are you going to improve today, but whose funeral will you hold?